With prices starting from rupees 21.49 lakh, this is the 2025 Tata Harrier EV. So the Tata Harrier EV is available with two battery pack options, 65 kilowatt hour and 75 kilowatt hour. The variant that we have with us right now is the empowered 75 trim. This is the quad wheel drive dual motor variant, and what you see right now with me is priced at 28.99 lakh ex showroom. Now this Tata Harrier EV, although it looks very familiar in the exterior design department, there is a lot that has changed under the skin, because this is now an EV architecture very specific to EVs, because this is a dual motor quad wheel drive electric SUV made in India, and that is why it is not just special for Tata Motors but even for potential customers and us who review vehicles, because there is no other product made in India like the Tata Harrier EV. Of course, you have the very radical looking Mahindra BE6 and XEV 9e, but this is something that can go off-road. But will you do that? That is up to you, because it is an expensive SUV. In this video, we are going to speak about the exterior design of this Tata Harrier EV. What are the features that you get on the outside? We will also upload a separate video where we speak about the interior cabin of this SUV and show you the space that you can expect and the features that you get and the overall packaging on the inside of this Harrier EV. And of course, we have a really long, detailed drive review video of this quad wheel drive dual motor variant of the Harrier EV, so that you can understand how good is this car to drive. And let me just give you a spoiler, it is a brilliant car to drive. So I insist that you subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel, press that bell icon, and you go and watch our drive review video so that you can make an informed car buying decision. So now let us start speaking about the exterior features of this Tata Harrier EV empowered 75 quad wheel drive dual motor variant. This is the top trim. Now, starting with this new grey color, it looks very sporty. This Tata Harrier EV, it is a big electric SUV, but it drives like a hot hatch, and that is quite a compliment. And because of that, this sporty grey color, which we relate to with really performance oriented vehicles, I think it fits the bill. It suits the Harrier EV, because if this is a sporty color, this is also a sporty vehicle to drive. So do get behind the wheel to experience that. Now on the front end, you will notice you have the new Tata logo, EV specific with white accents, pops out nicely and neatly and looks quite good. Then you will notice that there is not too much of a chrome overdose on the front end, and I really like it. It is nice and subtle. Then you have end-to-end connected LED DRLs along with black applique for some contrast, so it looks quite nice. You have sequential LED turn indicators, which you can notice over here, and then because of this black contrast, it really gets highlighted. This LED DRL section also, it is not too big, so it doesn't look too gaudy. But if you like it or not, that is something that you have to tell us in the comments below. Then because this is an EV, there is not too much of a breathing area over here. You have a flat piece over here, but with these, horizontal lines, and these lines also, enhance the visual appearance of the vehicle. It makes the Harrier EV look wider, and you don't need the vehicle to breathe from here too much because there is no engine under this hood. Then below this Tata logo, you have this camera for 360-degree camera support. Lower down over here, you have some air dam section for breathability. Then over here, you have these chrome accents, these vertical lines, and what I really like is that this is the ADAS module, but over here also you have this stylish treatment given to give this cohesive treatment in design. So you have those vertical lines over here as well. You might have seen in many vehicles, even in luxury cars, the ADAS module is just a black slab which is seen, a black plastic applique which is seen. This shows that Tata Motors has paid attention to detail, and because of that it doesn't look too odd over there on the front end. Then lower down, because of these vertical slats, it looks quite nice. It adds some character. And then you have this skid plate as well in this silver finish, so it tries to stand out. Over here you will notice you have your parking sensors even at the front end, so you can maneuver your Tata Harrier EV safely. Then you get LED headlamps, and these are bi LED projector headlamps. Check this out. This is where it is placed. You have a black housing, and you also have aero curtains over here for aerodynamic efficiency. And these headlamps, they are nicely recessed, so it is not something like this is going to get damaged very easily in bumper to bumper traffic or at times of an accident. It is not extremely at the end like you have seen, say for example, on the Kia Ceros. So this, I think, should last the distance. Then lower down you also have these sideways chrome accents over here, just for design aesthetic, and it looks decent. It doesn't look overdone. Overall, on the front end, Tata Motors has not really tried too hard to stand out. This is as subtle as it can get, along with being stylish. And I think this Tata Harrier EV from the front end, it does differentiate itself when you compare it with the diesel-powered Tata Harrier. Now, moving to the side profile, the biggest highlight is going to be the .EV branding, which you will notice on the front door, and it is in that EV specific color. Very nice, and again, not too large, not trying to stand out too much. Very nicely done. So it has two colors actually, so that EV specific blue also tries to stand out in a nice contrast. Then you will notice these alloy wheels, really stylish. Just have a look at the cuts and crease lines over here. Again, that same white accented Tata logo, and this is a 19-inch wheel, so a really large wheel. And these tires are EV specific. You will notice it over here. It is written these are electric drive tires. These alloy wheels, they look very stylish, and because they are in this matte kind of a dull shade, not too glossy, it should be easy to maintain and it won't show too many scratches in your ownership. Just have a look at those 19-inch wheels. Have a look at the entire side profile of the vehicle. They fill up the wheel well area quite nicely, and the Tata Harrier EV does not look under-tired at all. And then on the side profile again, just have a look at how clean the vehicle is. It doesn't have too much of contrasting colors and not too much of contrasting colored appliques either. And because of that, I think it looks very tasteful and it doesn't look too gaudy. Then you have this dual tone paint scheme over here. The mirror is painted in black, the roof is also painted in black, and so is the A pillar, B pillar, and that C and D pillar section. So a very nice floating roof line kind of an effect. This is a contrasting applique. This is in a shade of dark grey, and then you have this roof rail, which is a plastic section. Over here, as you can notice, it is a RFID kind of a thing, NFC or whatever you would like to call it. I don't know what it is exactly, but you can have your key card for digital access, for keyless operation of this Tata Harrier EV. But then on the door, you will notice you have a conventional request sensor as well for true keyless entry. Then lower down, you will notice you have this side step. When you open the door, it can be useful. Now, I don't know if this is part of the standard kit or it is an additional accessory, but nevertheless a useful feature to have. And then on the doors, this lower section, it has this black applique, so your vehicle paint is going to be protected if at all you take this Tata Harrier EV quad wheel drive dual motor SUV off the road. So whenever there are some rocks or pebbles being kicked up, the paint will not be chipped. These plastics will be easy to replace. Then over here on the mirror, you will notice, of course, you do get LED turn indicators, but you also have this mirror for 360-degree camera support. And then at the rear end, You will notice that the fuel filler cap is on the right hand side of this Harrier EV. But why do you have a fuel filler cap? Because this is your charging point for your vehicle. It is not hidden behind the logo at the front or any unconventional or new position. Conventionally placed, where you would ideally fill in fuel from, where you would diesel up the vehicle. Same point used to charge your vehicle, this Harrier EV. Over here as well, have a look. Big wheel, all 4 disc brakes, and even over here in this wheel well section on the inside, just have a look how nicely everything is covered. All of this does result in a good NVH characteristic of this vehicle. Sound insulation is really nice, so the cabin experience is very superior. I really like it. Then you will notice these extensions over here on these wheel arches on this body cladding panel. So this is for aerodynamic efficiency again. Now moving to the rear end, have a look at this. Very familiar of the Tata Harrier. Now you have connected LED tail lamps. Over here also you have a sequential LED turn indicator. The light signature is quite nice. The Tata Harrier was always a good looking SUV. With the amount of updates that it got, with the new light signatures that it has, it is a striking SUV to look at out on the streets. And then behind also you have the white accented Tata logo. This black applique helps the light signature stand out. And then here you have the Harrier EV branding. But over here you do not have any of those blue accents, EV specific accents. This is in all black, this lettering. Below this Tata logo you have your reversing camera, but there is one more camera at the back on this Tata Harrier EV, and that is on that shark fin antenna. Now this is going to give you the feed for you to consume on your inside rear view mirror. You can deactivate it, but that IRVM cannot be adjusted to the ideal height for you to look at it as a mirror and to look behind. So that camera feed is something that you will have to count on. Then lower down on the bumper, you will notice you have a healthy dose of black plastic cladding. You have your reverse parking sensors, and then you have this silver skid plate kind of an effect with vertical slats. Overall, the Tata Harrier EV is a very nice and wide SUV. It squats nicely and it doesn't look too tall or too bulky, but it does have respectable size and it has good road presence. But what do you think about the design? That is something that you have to let us know. Then over here you will notice, have a look at this. Again, you have some aero ducts kind of a design. You have black applique, and then you have your reflectors over here and also your reversing light. Overall, this Tata Harrier EV is a very stylish looking SUV, and to shout out that this is India's first quad wheel drive vehicle, you have that badge over here, and it proudly says quad wheel drive dual motor. They could have also just said that this is a simple Q, but they've shown a 4 as well. So very nice, very neat, very cheeky kind of design detailing, and I really like it. It shows that Tata Motors has paid attention to such details. Have a look at the side profile. A lot of cuts and crease lines. This line, which starts from the tail lamp, it runs on this quarter panel, then on the doors, and then it goes all the way here. It doesn't go all the way till the headlamp, but you have a nice flared wheel arch over here at the front and also at the back. There is a healthy dose of black plastic cladding all around the vehicle, so it does look rough road friendly. It does look like it can take a beating. On the outside, there is nothing much to show you. So in terms of cameras, you have a total of 5 or more. So let's just count. So one is over here. This is for reversing. One camera is up top on the shark fin antenna. That is for the feed that you see on the inside rear view mirror. Then you have 2 on the wing mirrors. So that is a total of 4 already. Then you have one camera over here below the front logo. And then you have one more camera, which is over there on the windscreen. Now that is for ADAS, and that is going to help you drive safely and conveniently out in the open. So now that is a total of 6. But is that it? No, there is one more camera which is over here on the inside rear view mirror. So the inside rear view mirror also doubles up as a dash cam. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 on the wing mirrors, 6 and 7 at the back end. So there are a total of 7 cameras on this Tata Harrier EV. And also this has a transparent mode when you are driving the Tata Harrier EV. So it shows you a feed of what is underneath the vehicle. That is pretty cool. No other manufacturer in India has offered such a feature. Speaking about finer details, have a look at the cuts and crease lines on the bonnet. It looks like a nice and powerful SUV, doesn't it? Then on the side profile, you will notice that over here you have that grey color which mingles with this applique. So there is no chunky dose of chrome, and I really like it. I prefer a less chrome kind of a treatment on the exterior design. It doesn't shout out too much. And then over here you have the classic rubber beading, nothing fancy over here as well. On the doors there is no chrome again, but this request sensor for keyless operation, you will notice it on the left hand side as well. Now even though this is a 5-seater SUV, you still have a quarter glass over here which is going to allow some amount of light on the inside. So there are no 7 seats over here. So how is this useful, you might ask, because you already have a huge panoramic sunroof. But if you have parked it somewhere and if you are, getting your luggage out, this extra amount of light, it is always going to help. And at the back you have that small request sensor which you saw on the driver door, which is also present on the passenger side door to open the tailgate. So you'll have to put your hands in and then your finger will have to find that spot to release this tailgate, which is electrically operated. And final touches from Tata Motors on the outside of the Harrier EV. First, you will find this vocal for local sticker, because Tata Motors and all of us potential customers are also proud about that this is a made in India SUV. Then you have this over here. Which animals are these? Let us know in the comments below. And then below down is a sticker, because this vehicle has ADAS, so auto brakes keep distance. And then this is very important. A 5-star Bharat NCAP safety rating for the Harrier EV tested in 2025. 5-star rating for driver, adults, and 5-star rating for children as well. On the side profile, you will also notice that you have this spoiler kind of an effect. This is not a metal piece, and you have this applique as well for aerodynamic efficiency. And then you have a high mount stop lamp over here integrated within that spoiler. And then you will notice you have this rear wash and wipe as well, which is very useful, especially in monsoon season. What do you think? Is the Tata Harrier EV a good looking SUV? Will you spend big bucks, over 30 lakh rupees, to bring home India's first all-electric, dual-motor, quad-wheel drive SUV? Let us know your thoughts, or if you would prefer the Mahindra electric SUVs, which just look really radical. But they might not suit everyone's taste because of that, polarizing design. This still looks more mature. This still looks more inoffensive. If you have any other questions, ask me and I will try my best to help you out. Till next time, subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel, and always, guys, drive safe.